When is the best time to sell your house in Durham Region? That's a question I get asked a lot by clients every single day. Rob, should I list now or should I wait a couple months for a different market to come along? Today I want to look at some numbers with you all to show you, based on your goals, when is the best time to actually sell your house in Durham Region. So please stick with me on the other side of this intro and we'll hop into some numbers and hopefully I can shed some light on answering that question for you. Hey everybody, it's Rob Marsiglio here from the Robert Marsiglio Realty Group, and today we're trying to answer that magic question: when is the best time of year to sell my home in Durham Region? So if you are like most sellers that I work with, the goal is to get the most amount of money for your home in the least amount of time possible. So today I want to break down a couple different charts, looking back historically at Durham Region as a whole, just to kind of see when in fact, what time of year gets you the most money for your home historically, what time of year do you sell your homes the quickest, see if we can actually parse out exactly the month you should be listing your home to capitalize on both of those things. So this first chart we're looking at is the median sales price for all of Durham Region in the freehold class. So we're not talking condos right now, just freehold properties. And it goes back 10 years historically monthly. So first thing that jumps out to me is just, if you bought a home back in April of 2012, you've got some serious equity locked up in that place, even reading about everything that's happened in the past month with the little drop off in prices in the region. But let's kind of look through each month to see if there's a glaring time of year. So for all of 2012, the spread that we can see so far is from 329, 330-ish to 315 in December. So nothing's really sticking out to me as the best time. A bit of a spike in June, but again, it's pretty nominal percentage-wise. Let's jump to 2013. Same idea, 325 in January. We saw a bit of a spike in the median price point. And this year, December actually had a higher sales price than a lot of these months in the spring and summertime. So again, based on these first couple years we're looking at, let's do the same thing for 2014. Again, mostly trending upwards. Bit of a drop off to December, but again, over the entire year, about 30K in gains on average. And that trend is just going to continue. So with the exception of a couple of blips like this, which was, this is right before some government intervention set in, there was a ton of buying in the market, drove prices up very quickly in Durham Region. This happened all across the GTA. I guess if you sold your home at this point and you're able to close, that was a great time to sell. But again, no crystal ball to see that this big drop off was coming later on in the year. More recently, we've seen price gains right throughout the pandemic. Any of these times, based on if you're holding for the last 8 years, would have been a good time to sell your home. I'm not really seeing any month specifically that says yes, sell in this month if the goal is to get the most money for your home. So I guess question number one, what is the best time of year to get the most money for your home? There really is no best month. I think as long as you're preparing your property well and pricing it aggressively against comparables, you'll do just fine no matter when you list that home, as long as that's a desirable place and you have a good buyer market for it. The argument may be that you can make the house look a little nicer in the springtime or the fall, like you get the nice landscaping done. It's easier for buyers to get out there in the wintertime than in the wintertime, my apologies. So, the house may show a bit better and you feel like you could capitalize on that. But again, I think that last chart proved that's not really the case. Let's look at the second factor, which is always, you want to sell your house for the most amount of money in the least amount of time possible. And here, at least historically, we've had a bit more of a definite answer in terms of when is the best time to sell your home, to list it, to sell it quickly. So let's hop into this chart again. We're going back 10 years, looking monthly, and we're looking at the average days on market this time. So we talk about where we're at now with the average days on market being 7, and I know I spoke in a previous video about how this isn't something we should really be used to. It's been a hectic market for the past, we haven't seen an average days on market of Durham in the last year and a little bit over 10 days on the market. Historically, though, you can see that if the goal was to sell quickly, you want to be listing your house March, April, May, March, April, May, June, kind of in that little swing, because that is, again, historically when the most buyers come out, when the most transactions happen. So if the goal is to sell quickly, at least historically, let's see what happens going forward, because again, nobody has a crystal ball. We have experienced a bit of a slowdown in the market. Hopefully we kind of get back to this traditional look. Like, you can almost pinpoint, you know exactly where December is every single month. December historically, 34 days on average in Durham, 31 days on average in Durham, 30 days. This is January, but 28 in December, then 31 in January, 35 in December, 31 in December. Like, you see where I'm going with this. So until more recently, that was always the trend. So if the goal is to sell your home quickly, as long as it's prepared nicely and it's showing well against comparables, listing in that kind of March through May, maybe even into June, that historically is the time of year when you're going to sell your house the quickest. One kind of quick cool thing I want to point out is just the reasoning for that little pattern that we saw. You can see how consistent the sale counts are. So again, in those months that you want to be listing to sell quickly, at least the sale counts are a lot higher than when you go to December each year, and that's usually when sales really do bottom out in the Durham Region market. And if you've experienced Durham Region winters or winters in Ontario in general, you understand why kind of less buyers are out, less sales are happening. We have the holidays going on, lots of other important things coming up in people's lives. So again, I just think it's kind of neat. Wanted to show you how it's an exact inverse of the number of sales that we have. It's correlated to how long that house is going to stay on the market. So again, to answer the question, we need to understand what your goals are. Is it to get the most money possible? Do you need to be out of the home quickly? These are the two kind of questions that we have to answer. We have to understand your why. Why do you need to sell? Is it a need to sell? Is it we just want to see what the market's going to do? If the goal is to sell for the most amount of money, I think what we've shown by that average price point graph, at least, is that we just need to prepare the home the best possible. The house needs to show well. There's going to be a buyer in every single market that needs to move into your area. So that's really not dependent on the time of year so much. It's just dependent on how well we price your home, how well we prepare your home, the condition of the home. If the goal is to sell quickly and you don't want your house sitting there on the market, I know these last couple of years have bucked the trend, but historically, that's when you want to be listing in those spring markets. That's usually when the market moves the fastest, at least. The most transactions happen historically, and houses move the quickest. So kind of take this into account when you are looking to list your home. Always keep those goals in mind that you have. And again, consult a real estate professional to really help walk you through this entire process. So if you found this video useful today, please like it. Turn the notifications on, because I like to do videos like this often to share information with you. Share it with a friend. And please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps us out over here and helps us kind of broaden that reach of who we can be providing value to every single day. So I look forward to talking to you next time. And until then, cheers.